Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. On this video I'm going to be giving you my player ratings for Manchester United's 1-0 win against Omonia Nicosia at Old Trafford in the Europa League. So we'll start off with the man between the sticks, David De Gea. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. David De Gea had nothing to do in the game. Of course, David De Gea is Manchester United's #1 goalkeeper. After the 2-1 win against Everton at Goodison Park, it said David De Gea breaks silence on signing a new Man United contract. David De Gea admitted he would like to stay at Man United for more years after winning at Everton. David De Gea's current contract at the club expires next year. There's an option of an additional year. He earns £375,000 a week. Well, revert back to earlier on this year, it actually said that David De Gea could leave Man United on a free at the end of the season. He said Atletico Madrid were interested in re-signing him, and De Gea was wanted by Juventus on a free transfer at the end of the season. He's endured around 11 years or so at the club, so reflecting on that, he's been a long-serving player. He's been with us since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Earlier on this year, he won the Players' Player of the Year award. He's won everything domestically at the football club. But credit to De Gea, he's done well in a lot of games this season. He's had some poor games. Obviously, he was terrible in the first two because he let 2 soft goals in against Brighton, and he was accountable for 2 goals in the 4-0 thrashing of Brentford. But I think apart from that, more or less, he's done well. Moving on to Diego Dalot, I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. Not the best of performances by him yesterday night. I don't think he got forward enough. Dalot seems to struggle against much lower opposition, but like in the big games, he can be very consistent. But he has played a lot of games this season, to be fair, as Dalot, so he will be fatigued. Dalot is Manchester United's first choice right back under Erik ten Hag. He was also our first choice right back under Ralf Rangnick, so there's no way back for Wan-Bissaka. Bissaka couldn't have played anyway because he's out with injury. Now, moving on to Victor Lindelof, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. An okay performance by Lindelof, but he got outclassed for that chance Omonia Nicosia had in that first half. All he had to do was square it and Omonia Nicosia probably would have scored. Lindelof has played the last few games. Varane come back from injury not so long ago. Lindelof has not been one of Man United's first choice centre-halves since Man United signed Varane. Lindelof, I think there's a good chance he'll leave next year. He is under contract with the club till 2024. Man United got Lindelof from Benfica back in 2017 in a deal worth 31 million. Moving on to Lisandro Martinez, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. An okay performance by him, but not his best performance. You know, Martinez has enjoyed a lot of good games since he become a Manchester United player. Martinez seems to play much better alongside Varane than he does alongside Victor Lindelof. Man United got Martinez from Ajax in a deal worth 57 million. Moving on to Tyrell Malacia, I'm going to give him a 4 out of 10. I thought he did look energetic in the game yesterday night, but he didn't get forward enough. Malacia has had some poor games since he come, but he's had good games as well. Malacia has appeared to be Manchester United's first choice left back under Erik ten Hag. You know, he does start a lot of games now, Malacia, so you know, Luke Shaw obviously won't start a lot of games, but Luke Shaw did start in the 2-1 away win against Everton. But Malacia, Man United got him from Feyenoord. Moving on to Casemiro, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. He enjoyed a good game yesterday night. He was unlucky not to score because Casemiro hit the crossbar. And he also had a very good headed chance. But he continues with these performances, he will get, that first goal for Manchester United. Casemiro should have scored in the game against Everton at Goodison Park because he missed a sitter in that one, but he did get an assist in that game. Manchester United got Casemiro from Real Madrid in a deal worth 70 million. Fred, I'm going to give him a 4 out of 10. I don't think he enjoyed the best of games. He did have some chances. I'm actually surprised Fred started because he's no longer one of our first choice midfielders following the arrivals of Casemiro and Christian Eriksen. I thought would have started Christian Eriksen alongside Casemiro in that midfield. But Freddie, I've got my reservations about him. He's too inconsistent. I think there's a good chance he'll leave Man United next year. Man United got Fred from Shakhtar Donetsk in a deal worth 52 million. Bruno Fernandes, I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. I thought Bruno Fernandes was quite wasteful in the game. Fernandes, has had poor games this season, but he's had his good games as well. Like I've said, Fernandes seems to be a far superior player when he's not playing with Ronaldo, and that doesn't really make much sense because Fernandes and Ronaldo both play together for Portugal. Bruno Fernandes has been a United player for over 2 years. Man United got him from Sporting Lisbon back in January 2020. Moving on to Marcus Rashford, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Marcus Rashford, had a lot of big chances in that game yesterday night, so he was unlucky not to score. Rashford, of course, played in the 2-1 win against Everton at Goodison Park. He scored in that game, but the goal got disallowed for handball. In the game away against Omonia Nicosia, Rashford came off the bench and got 2 goals and he got an assist. Rashford is enjoying a pretty good season to his standards. He's far better this season than he was last season, let's put it that way. Not so long ago, Marcus Rashford got named Premier League Player of the Month for September. There's been talks about Man United handing Marcus Rashford a new 5-year contract. Rashford's current contract at the club expires next year. There's an option to extend for a further year. Moving on to Anthony. I'm going to give him just a 4 out of 10. Pretty poor performance by him. He did have a chance in the game that produced a very good save from the Omonia Nicosia goalkeeper. Anthony, though, played very well in the game against Everton at Goodison Park. He scored Man United's equaliser in that one. He finished it expertly. Anthony has scored 3 goals so far for Manchester United. He scored against Everton. He scored a stunning goal in the defeat to Man City, but he did nothing in that game up until that stunning goal, and he scored on his debut in the 3-1 win against Arsenal. Man United got Anthony in a deal worth €100 million. That equates to around 86 million in pounds sterling. He's Man United's second most expensive signing ever, and he's the 4th most expensive signing in Premier League history. Moving on to Cristiano Ronaldo, I'm going to give him a 4 out of 10. He was anonymous for the vast majority of the game yesterday night. He did have a chance or 2, didn't he? But didn't convert them chances that he did have. Don't forget Ronaldo scored his 700th club goal in the 2-1 win against Everton at Goodison Park. But Ronaldo should have got his 700th club goal in the 3-2 away win against Omonia Nicosia because he squandered several chances in that game. There was one chance where he did hit the post. Ronaldo, yeah, did start the game yesterday night, but he hasn't started a lot of games for Man United this season. Obviously, prior to the game, Ronaldo accepted that FA charge. After Eric Ten Hag said he would not. Earlier on this year, Ronaldo got charged by the FA over that mobile phone incident at Everton. Revert back to August, Ronaldo got cautioned for the incident, and after the incident, he apologised on social media. Don't forget, prior to the Everton game, it said Ronaldo was unhappy with Eric Ten Hag's training sessions and style of play. And Eric Ten Hag did mention at that point that Ronaldo was unhappy that he's not playing regularly. Ronaldo can leave Man United in January. Eric Ten Hag will not stand in his way, but when Eric Ten Hag first took charge of Man United, he wanted Ronaldo to stay. Ronaldo's contract at the club expires next year. There is an option of an additional year, and he earns £480,000 a week. Man United re-signed Ronaldo last year from Juventus, so he has been his second spell at the club. Man United brought substitutions on yesterday night. Of course, Scott McTominay came on. I'll give him an 8 out of 10. He scored the winner in the 93rd minute of stoppage time. So he saved Manchester United from humiliation, because Man United were almost embarrassed twice by Omonia Nicosia. Scott McTominay could have had another goal, because I do recall him having another chance that produced a good save from the Omonia Nicosia goalkeeper. Scott McTominay cannot play on Sunday against Newcastle as he is suspended. Luke Shaw came on in the game. I'm actually going to give Shaw a 7 out of 10 because I thought he actually made an impact when he came on. Now Shaw will come on a lot as a substitute because, like I said, he's not our first choice left back. Terrell Malacia is. Shaw could possibly leave the club next year. It's not guaranteed he will. His contract at the club expires next year. Shaw's been at Man United for around 9 years or so. Jadon Sancho came on in the game, 5 out of 10. He did play a part in Scott McTominay's winner. And we saw Christian Eriksen come on in the game. And I'll just give him a 6 out of 10. So that is your player ratings for Manchester United's 1-0 win against Omonia Nicosia at Old Trafford. But you know what? I've got to give a lot of credit to the Omonia Nicosia goalkeeper. You know, he made some fantastic saves yesterday night. He is a boyhood Manchester United fan. Is it Uzio? I can't pronounce his name correctly. But I read the stats from yesterday night's game. Like I mentioned on the match reaction, Manchester United had a total of 34 shots. We had around 12 or 13 shots on target. You know, like I mentioned, Rashford had big chances. Ronaldo had some chances. Fred had a couple of opportunities. McTominay, you know, had chances. You know, Casemiro had some chances. Like I said, he hit the crossbar. By the way, Eric Ten Hag praises his side's creativity and scoring capabilities. Man United, of course, were missing players yesterday. Like I mentioned, there was no Bissaka, but he doesn't get in the team anyway because Delors our first choice right back. There was no Maguire because he's still injured, but he wouldn't start anyway because he's no longer one of our first choice centre-halves following the arrival of Martinez. There was no Varane yesterday either, just come back from injury not so long ago. There was no Martial because he came off at half-time. Well, not half-time, in the first half, sorry, against Everton, but he did get an assist against Everton. Van der Beek's obviously been out of a knock as well. Brandon Williams, he's been out of injury for quite some time, but he doesn't get in the team anyway. So they are the players that Man United had missing. But all that matters is, Man United got the win yesterday night. Reflecting on the win, that's 3 wins now out of 4 in the Europa League group stage. Man United are going to qualify for the knockout stages of the Europa League. As for Omonia Nicosia, like I said, they are a poor team. They are from Cyprus. Their manager's Neil Lennon. Neil Lennon is a well-known manager. Neil Lennon got appointed in as the Omonia Nicosia manager back in March this year. So he's been the Omonia Nicosia manager for around 7 or 8 months now. Hasn't he? Before, he endured 2 spells with Celtic. And before, he managed Bolton and Hibernian did Neil Lennon. But yeah, Manchester United's next game is Newcastle. That is on Sunday. That'll be a tough game because Newcastle are in form at the moment. Newcastle won the last game against Brentford 5-1 and they won away at Fulham 4-1. But Man United are doing well at the moment, like I've said. We've won 5 of his last 6 in the league, reflecting on that win against Everton. And we ended Everton's 2-game winning run. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very soon.